Ethan Parker had always been a dreamer. Born and raised in a small town in Texas, he had grown up with an unwavering love for his country. The United States was everything, the land of opportunity, freedom, and dreams. He loved the flag, the anthem, the history, and the very spirit of being American. But what he had never expected was to fall in love with someone who didn't belong to this land. It happened on a warm July evening in New York City. Ethan, who worked as an international relations consultant, was attending a cultural exchange event when he met her. Aliyah Khan, an exchange student from Pakistan studying architecture at Columbia University. She was breathtakingly beautiful, with deep brown eyes that carried secrets of a faraway world. Her voice was soft but confident, and her laughter had an intoxicating charm. Unlike Ethan, she viewed the world beyond borders. For her, the world was not divided by countries, but connected through culture and humanity. They talked that night, arguing about politics, laughing over silly jokes, and sharing their hopes and dreams. For Ethan, it was love at first sight. Chapter 2: Love Without Borders. Their relationship blossomed quickly. They explored the streets of New York together, walking through Central Park, watching Broadway shows, and sitting by the Hudson River, talking about life. Ethan was fiercely patriotic, always wearing his love for America on his sleeve. Aliyah admired that about him, but she often challenged him, asking, "Do you ever wonder what's beyond the red, white, and blue?" "I do," Ethan admitted once, holding her hand tightly. "But this land is my home, Aliyah. I can't imagine living anywhere else." She smiled but said nothing. As months passed, Ethan found himself falling deeper in love. But with love came the realization that Aliyah's visa had an expiration date. She was due to return home in 6 months. Chapter 3: The Fear of Goodbye. The idea of losing Aliyah haunted Ethan. "Stay," he whispered one night as they lay under the stars on a rooftop in Brooklyn. "I can't," she said, her voice trembling. "My family is waiting for me. My future is waiting for me." "But our future is here," he pleaded. She touched his face gently. "Ethan, you belong here." "I don't, and you know that." He refused to accept it. "Marry me," he blurted out. "We can figure it out together." Aliyah's eyes filled with tears. "Ethan, love isn't just about holding on. Sometimes it's about letting go." Chapter 4: A Love Tested. As the departure date neared, Ethan tried everything to convince her to stay. Immigration lawyers, job applications, anything that could give her a reason to remain in the United States. But Aliyah was firm. She loved him, but she couldn't give up everything. Her family, her dreams, her identity, just to stay. The last few weeks were bittersweet. They held on to every moment, making memories they knew would have to last a lifetime. On their final night together, they stood by the Statue of Liberty, the symbol of freedom Ethan had always cherished. "You once told me this country is your everything," Aliyah said, looking up at the glowing statue. "Promise me, no matter what happens, you'll never stop loving it." Ethan's heart ached. "And what if my everything is leaving?" She touched his chest right over his heart. "Then carry me with you always." Chapter 5: The Goodbye. At the airport, Ethan stood frozen as Aliyah hugged him for the last time. "I love you," he whispered. She pulled away, her eyes red. "I love you too, Ethan, always." And with that, she walked away. Ethan watched her disappear into the crowd, feeling like his world had shattered. Chapter 6: A Love That Never Fades. Months turned into years. Ethan threw himself into his work, but he never stopped thinking about Aliyah. He followed her career from afar, saw her become a renowned architect, watched interviews where she spoke about designing homes that bring cultures together. He never moved on. No one else could fill the void she had left. One day, years later, he visited Pakistan for a diplomatic project. Walking through the streets of Lahore, he saw something that made his heart stop. A grand building, standing tall in the city's heart. Designed by Aliyah Khan, and right at the entrance, engraved in stone, was a quote, "Love has no borders." Ethan smiled through his tears. He had lost her, but their love had built something eternal. And in that moment, he realized, some loves never truly leave us. They just find new ways to live on.